Hi, my name is Joe Edge, and we are coming to you live from the tax shop in Port St. Lucie, Florida, located at 932 Southwest Bayshore Boulevard. Thank you for joining us. Today, the subject of this short video is what you thought you knew about collecting and paying Florida sales tax. Let's go over some of the basics. First of all, the state of Florida imposes a 6% sales tax statewide on purchases for resale. Counties have the option of imposing what they call a surtax over and above the 6% sales tax collected, which goes to the county where the sale occurred. Sales tax has to be collected and paid either monthly or quarterly based on what the state of Florida tells you as an account holder for sales tax. A quarterly payer, let's use an example of the fourth quarter of this past year. Any sales tax collected from October 1st to December 31st has to be reported to the state of Florida by January 20th of the following month. If you're a monthly payer, any sales tax collected between December 1st and December 31st has to be paid by the same due date, January 20th of the following month. In this case, January 20th, 2019. Sales tax has to be paid electronically, and when you do that, you are allowed to take what they call up to a $30 collection allowance on the sales tax that's collected based on the volume of sales that you did for the particular month. The maximum you can take every month is $30. If you don't pay electronically, you're not allowed to take the collection allowance. You have to mail it. If you choose to mail a check in, you're not able to take the collection allowance. Okay, let's talk about some incorrect assumptions when it comes to collecting and paying sales tax. First and foremost, there's a lot of people out there that think or are under the incorrect assumption that if I pay sales tax when I buy an item, I don't have to charge sales tax when I resell it. That is totally wrong. The other incorrect assumption is that I only have to charge sales tax on material items on my invoices, and I don't have to charge sales tax for my labor. That is also wrong. And the other incorrect assumption that we're going to talk about today is all labor is exempt from sales tax. That is also wrong. Let's address the first issue. When you purchase something and resell it, you're always going to mark it up and make a profit. Okay, so if you pay $10 for an item at Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that, and you're going to resell it for $30, the state of Florida is actually losing the sales tax revenue on the profit that you're charging. Okay, and just because you don't charge sales tax to the customer doesn't mean that you won't be subject to having to pay that sales tax in the event that you're ever audited. So the truth of the matter is that regardless of whether you pay sales tax when you buy it, you are still required by law to charge sales tax when you sell it. Okay? When you invoice a customer for material and labor, you are required by law to charge sales tax not only on the material items that are on your invoice, but on the labor that's on the invoice as well. With regard to professional services, there are some professional services that are subject to sales tax. One classic example is janitorial services. Janitorial services for residents, where a cleaning person comes to your house and cleans your house, they're not required to charge you sales tax. But if that same cleaning person cleans a commercial facility like your business office or something like that, they are required to collect and pay sales tax. Investigative services. There's certain investigative services that are subject to sales tax. So you have to do your research to determine, based on the kind of business that you are owning and operating, whether you are required to collect and pay sales tax. The other probably the biggest problem that most business owners run into is this. The second that you collect that sales tax and it goes into your bank account, you are merely a custodian of that money. That money does not belong to you. You're not allowed to spend it and pay it back later. That money belongs to the state of Florida. This is the single biggest problem that a lot of people get into, and you can actually go to jail for that because it's theft. A lot of people think that it's their money and they hold it for 20 days and they can do what they like with it, but they can't. So please be aware that that money, even though it's in your bank account, it belongs to the state of Florida. And maybe it's a good idea, depending on how disciplined you are with money, that when you collect sales tax, maybe have a separate checking account where you put that money into, so when you pay it by the 20th for the reporting period, it comes from that account and you don't see it as money that you can spend. The other issue that we need to be aware of is that if you're in the business of reselling items, you have to register with the state of Florida. They will tell you whether you are going to be a quarterly or a monthly filer based on the information you provide on that application. Okay? Keeping accurate records. Okay? You should keep a copy of all of your invoices for the particular reporting period, and your bank statements will show your actual deposits. That's going to be your gross receipts that you report on your sales tax return. You have to be able to document and accurately articulate all of your exempt sales and why in fact they are exempt sales and why they aren't subject to sales tax collection. You have to keep very good records in the event that you're audited. And lastly, keeping track of all the sales tax you did collect, filing your sales tax return on time to make sure it reaches the state of Florida by the 20th, and keeping those records for at least 3 years. Typically, if you were audited by the state of Florida for sales tax, they will audit a 3-year period. So it's very important that you keep accurate records. If you have any questions about collecting and paying sales tax, we at the Tax Shop would love to hear from you, and we'd be happy to sit down with you and help you correct any errors that you may have or file your application with the state. We also provide those kind of services where we collect and pay sales tax, or not collect sales tax. We will process your sales tax return and send it to the state of Florida electronically. Please give us a call if you have any questions. The phone number here is 772-879-2895. We're located at 932 Southwest Bayshore Boulevard in Port St. Lucie. We look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for stopping by and listening. We look forward to it. Bye now.